Let's talk Tanya for the 23rd of Adar. Yesterday we finished chapter 36, and in this chapter we learned about the purpose of creation. The reason why God created everything is because God has this desire for a dwelling place in the lowest realm, meaning in our world. The question is how we accomplish that. And in today's Tanya, the Alter Rebbe says, very simply, we accomplish that through doing mitzvahs. Every time we do a mitzvah, we are taking another element of this world, of this physical world, of this lowly world, and transforming it into something which is holy, transforming it into a home for God. The examples that the Alter Rebbe gives over here, he says, when we take an animal hide and we turn it into a mezuzah, into a Torah scroll, into tefillin, or when we take an esrog and we shake it on sukkahs, or when we take a coin and we give it to charity. In each one of these instances, we are taking something which was formerly darkness, meaning it was klipa. That's a concept that we discussed a while ago. Klipa is something which does not reveal God in this world, and we are elevating it through doing a mitzvah using it. And as we already learned in the last chapter, or actually 2 chapters ago, in addition to the elevation that is happening in the parchment or the esrog or the coin, I am also elevating my animal soul in the process also, because the energy that my animal soul is expending on doing that mitzvah is also being elevated. So all these elements of the physical world are becoming holy and becoming part of God's home when I do a mitzvah. And with this, the Alter Rebbe says, this also explains something peculiar about us Jews, which is that when we pray or when we study Torah, so we are articulating the words. Now, you probably noticed that when an average person reads the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, they're not busy articulating the words as they're reading. They're just scanning the words and reading it in their mind. But by Jews, we're learning a piece of the Talmud, or learning some Tanya, or we're davening. And it's very important. In fact, in order for the mitzvah to be done, we have to articulate the words. And why is that? Because again, the purpose of a mitzvah, because as is the purpose of everything, is to create this dira b'tachtonim, to create a home for God. If I am doing a mitzvah only in my mind, I'm not impacting anything physical. That is just my soul operating. I am not making a dira b'tachtonim. I'm not making a home for God. Every mitzvah has to have some sort of impact over here in this physical world in order for it to be part of the larger effort of creating this home for God. When I'm studying Torah or when I am praying and I'm actually moving my lips and I'm articulating, verbalizing the words, to move my lips, I need to use the energy of my animal soul. And what's happening is I am elevating that energy, which is klipa energy, and I'm elevating to holiness. So now I am actually taking part in the larger effort of creating a dira b'tachtonim. 2 chapters ago, we started off when we started speaking about the struggler who has this pain and is saying, why do I have to struggle? What's the purpose of my struggle? Yeah, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing the mitzvahs. My thought, speech, and action are perfect, but my insides are a jumble, and I'm always struggling against the desires of my animal soul and my character flaws. So we already answered that question 2 chapters ago. We explained that at the end of the day, the main thing is to do a mitzvah. And once you're doing a mitzvah, so it doesn't make a difference the struggle that's going on inside of you. You're connecting to God. But now we've taken this a step further. What is the purpose of creation? The purpose of creation is to make for God a dwelling place over here in this world. That is accomplished through a mitzvah. It doesn't make a difference what struggles are going on inside you. You do a mitzvah, you are 100% fulfilling the reason why God put you down here in this world. There's no difference between you and the tzaddik. So the idea of dira b'tachtonim, understanding what our purpose is over here in this world, and our purpose ultimately is not a spiritual purpose, it's actually to elevate the physical, allows us to be at peace with our struggle. So I struggle. What's make a difference? At the end of the day, I get to do a mitzvah. And what's so interesting about this is, Tanya is not a book of philosophy. It contains a lot of philosophy in it, but ultimately, it's a book which, as the Alter Rebbe says, is there to help the struggling people in their struggles. This fundamental philosophical, theological concept of dira b'tachtonim, the reason why God desired a world in the first place and why he created the world, why does the Alter Rebbe include it in Tanya? This is not a book of philosophy as mentioned, but it comes as a response to an emotional question by the struggler. The struggler is emotionally bothered by the struggler. So Alter Rebbe introduces this bombshell, this huge idea. The reason why the world was created, not because it's important to understand the philosophy, at least not for the purposes of Tanya, but because understanding this gives comfort to the struggler, understanding, so I struggle. But as long as I do a mitzvah, I'm right now laying down another brick in God's home, which is the reason why I was created, and therefore I can feel fully fulfilled in this area. And in tomorrow's Tanya, we're going to find out, how do we elevate the rest of the world? So I do a mitzvah, let's say I put up a mezuzah, I'm elevating the parchment. I shake the lulav of an esrog, I'm elevating the esrog. I give charity, I elevate the coin. But there's so much of the world which is not ever going to be utilized in the commission of any mitzvah. How do we make the entire world a dwelling place for God? That will be the topic that we will start talking about in tomorrow's Tanya.